Hi guys, so I'm back. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I'm quite excited for this one. I've enjoyed a nice little break from the blog. As much as I really enjoyed doing it, I've had a lot going on over the Christmas period. I'm back with a bang, and I've got really good video ideas, really good written blog ideas. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Just before Christmas, I put out a little post basically asking for any IBD and Crohn's disease related questions so I could do a little Q&A. I did get some questions which was really good, and I've just narrowed it down to about 5 or 6 that I think were the best questions, or the questions that I'd like to answer the most. So let's get straight into it before I make this a really long video and ramble on loads like I always do. What are the most common symptoms? For me personally, I'll go through what my most common symptoms are. However, I do want to make it clear in this video that this is a Crohn's Q&A for me. This isn't like an overall Crohn's Q&A, because Crohn's disease and IBD in general is very personalised to the person. As much as there are symptoms that generally are quite across the board, there are certain things that I'll experience that other people won't experience. So I don't want to make this video like, oh yeah, if you've got Crohn's, this is what it's like, because that's not true. This is what my Crohn's is like. So I just want to make that clear before anyone watches and is like, oh no, that never happened to me, or oh my gosh, is that going to happen to me, and stuff like that. This is my Crohn's. My most common symptoms are fatigue being the biggest one, and then when I am in a flare-up, sickness and diarrhoea and stomach cramps, abdominal cramps in my intestine area. They are the most common symptoms that I have. Obviously, if I'm not having a flare-up, then I don't just have cramps all the time, but at least a couple of times a week, depending on how I've been, like energy-wise, diet-wise, stress-wise, I do get a bit of stomach cramps. The sickness and diarrhoea is only when I'm properly in a flare-up, but that doesn't just happen all the time. But they are the most common symptoms for me, personally. So yeah, like I said, that does differ between everyone. I know that some people that don't have diarrhoea and they get really badly constipated and stuff like that. But for me, they're my biggest and most common symptoms. So the next question is, what is the biggest misconception with Crohn's disease? Again, this is personally what I think the biggest misconception is, not necessarily what the biggest misconception is. However, I think a lot of people would agree that I think a lot of people who see people that have Crohn's or read about or hear about people that have Crohn's think that they are quite lazy, which is so far from the truth for me personally. So I think people hear us moaning that we're tired all the time and think, oh God, like, why are you so tired all the time? And it's like, well, because I've got Crohn's disease. My body's constantly fighting itself, which is very draining. So I don't think people understand that there are certain activities and daily tasks that for some people are so easy, but are even harder for someone that does have irritable bowel disease. For instance, like just going to working a normal full-time job is a really big struggle sometimes. Like, it really does get the better of you. And I think that some people just look at that and go, oh, like, she's always moaning, he's always moaning. And because of it not being a physical illness, well, physically it is, but like a visible illness. It's an invisible disease, an invisible illness. So because people can't see it, they don't understand it. Similar to mental health illnesses, because people can't see it, they find it really difficult to understand. And I think that's because people, like, my arm isn't hanging off and they can't go, oh look, oh bless her, like look what's happened there. They just think, oh well, she's fine, she's just having a bit of a moan. So I think that's the biggest misconception, is that people with Crohn's disease or irritable bowel disease are just a bit lazy, just like to moan a bit. There's nothing really wrong with them. It's really irritating, but I have noticed it myself over the past 5 years, and I'm sure I'll notice it again over the next however many years I'm on this lovely earth for. But yeah, personally for me, and I think a lot of people would agree, that is the biggest misconception within the irritable bowel disease community. So the next question. Oh, I got this really cute little Harry Potter notebook, by the way, from Primark. So I'm reading out of that today. Next question is, are there any food groups specifically that cause me to have flare-ups? When I was first diagnosed with Crohn's disease, I was very much like, oh yeah, Crohn's and diet aren't related, blah 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 blah, because I heard people saying it and I read it and I was like, oh yeah, that's just how it is. But pardon me, but that's not true, in my opinion. I do think that diet is strongly linked to a lot of health issues and just health in general. So yes, there are certain food groups that do cause me to have flare-ups. The biggest ones being dairy. I think if I have a lot of cow's milk, which I do try to avoid, I do suffer a lot, bloating really badly. I forgot to mention that one of my most common symptoms is bloating as well. Really bad bloating, like looking 9 months pregnant bloating. Like, because I'm quite, I say petite frame, I used to have a petite frame, not really that much anymore, but the amount of bloating that I have in comparison to how big I actually am it doesn't match up. So I do end up looking heavily pregnant sometimes. And it's not the kind of bloating where you lie down, your stomach goes flat. It's just like really, really badly bloating. And when I have cow's milk, I know it's that badly. The other big food group that affects me is red meat, which is difficult to digest anyway. What I always say is foods that a normal person with a normal digestive system would struggle with, I will struggle with even more. So red meat, vegetable skins, dairy products, which a lot of people are intolerant to anyway. So things like that, I just tend to have like a higher intolerance to it. So as much as I'm not really good at avoiding them, I should probably be a bit better at it. And I'm going to try to be healthier and help my body and help my Crohn's. But yeah, those are some of the food groups that cause my flare-ups. So next question is, why did I start my blog? I know this might not seem like a Crohn's related question, but it links in with another question, so I'm just going to mention them both at the same time. So why I started my blog, and do I think enough people are aware about Crohn's disease and irritable bowel? I've spoke about this before, and I'll speak about it again because it's important. I started my blog mainly to help spread awareness, but also because I thought that my experiences could help people that have Crohn's, and I enjoy talking, I enjoy writing, so it's something that I enjoy doing. So yeah, do I think enough people know what it is or are aware of it and what it does? No. Do I think more people are aware now than what used to be? Yes. However, that doesn't mean enough people know. So I think it's all very important that as many people try to spread awareness as much as they can, because there are still a lot of people that don't have an understanding of it. Just because you've heard it doesn't mean you have an understanding of it, and I think it is very important that people understand it, just so they can show a bit more, not necessarily sympathy, but just kind of empathise, just go, you know, like, okay, I understand why you might be tired today, or I understand that you might need to go to the toilet 7 times today. And for instance, workplaces, I feel, could have a better understanding of it. But yeah, definitely not enough understanding, and that is why I do my blog, to hopefully spread some understanding and awareness. The last question is, what is my personal biggest struggle with Crohn's disease? Now, I think it's like there's two. One is more mental, one is more physical. So we'll start with the mental one, shall we? Mentally, it's the fatigue. It's so draining. I can deal with physically being tired, like my body feeling a bit run down, but being at work for 2 hours and all of a sudden hitting a wall where it's like, oh my god, no, I can't do any more, and it's Monday, and it's Tuesday, and it's Wednesday, and it's happening every single day. And it's not that I don't want to be there and that I don't want to work, but you can't even concentrate. I feel like my brain just can't focus on anything. I'm easily distracted. I'm then like looking around. I'm just anything else than what I'm supposed to be doing. And I find that the biggest struggle for me, because I'll get home some days and I'll be so upset and I just want to lie there, and there's so much that I want to do, but I physically just want to lie there because my brain is like, no, you can't read that book, you can't write that blog post, you're too tired, you need to rest. But I know that I'm not tired, but I am, but I'm fatigued. It's so different being tired from not having enough sleep or being fatigued. And I feel like it's a constant battle. You feel so fatigued, but then you can't even sleep at night. So it's like, well, I thought I was tired. That's probably the biggest struggle for me, because it just gets in the way of me doing normal, like 20-year-old things and normal adult things, and like going to work and meeting up with friends. And it's a struggle that I think is hopefully going to get easier one day, but who knows. It's not fun, but hey ho, that's life. So then the physical one, the more like body imagey one, is the bloating. So I spoke about this in my recent blog post, my written blog post, I think, maybe, who knows if it was a recent one. I remember saying about body image and how Crohn's has affected that because of my weight fluctuations and stuff like that. But at the minute, the bloating is so severe. Just makes you feel a bit insecure, in clothes, out of clothes, and especially like being in a relationship, it can be quite difficult at times because I feel insecure about the way I am and the way I look, and it's just really something that's difficult to push to one side. It's like, it's really stupid because I feel like a lot of people don't notice it as well. They're like, oh, you're so skinny, and I'm like, oh thanks, don't call me skinny, it's not a compliment. But I'm like, just because I dress very well to my frame, I'd say. So like when I feel like a bad bloke, I try to dress well to it, but that doesn't mean that I feel good. Like, it hurts physically, and yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest struggles physically, because it's just grim. No one likes being bloated, like girls, boys, mainly girls will know what it's like, because when you're on your period it's just grim being bloated and horrible. So yeah, no one likes it, but literally it's happening on a daily basis at the moment. So yeah, if you've got any tips, that'd be greatly appreciated, because it ain't fun. So. But yeah, so they're all of my questions. I just wanted to make this a short and sweet video because I find that some of my videos are really long and rambly, and if you feel like this one was, then I'm sorry, but this is as good as it's going to get. Can't make them any shorter than this. I tried, and I tried. If you have anything that you'd want to see next, or hear me speak about, or see me write about, let me know. Leave some comments below. As always, please like, please comment, please share on all your socials so your friends can see. Get it out there. I'm really hyper today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I've been like up and down all day, peaks and troughs. Like, honestly, I was like up here this morning, down here at lunch, down there by the end of my shift, back up there, and now I'm just soaring. Don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, share and like let people know who I am. Get the word out there about Crohn's. And I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, socials. If you care and you want to keep up to date, I've got my Instagram and my Twitter and everything below, and my actual link to my website for where my blogs are. So yep, go down, keep updated with me, so when I post my next video you can find out first. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, well done you. If you didn't, you won't have to listen to this bit anyway, so that's great. But thank you again, and have a lovely day. Bye.